G'day YouTube! Another bike here up on the stand. This one the owners just bought it in non-running condition. It's a, I believe they said it was an 87 Kawasaki KX80. As you see, it kicks over, but there's a hard clunking coming from. I'm not sure how well it's going through the camera. First thing I'm taking off is the seat. Two bolts back underneath in here. Already got them out. Okay, from here we're taking off the front wrap. Alright, gas tank. This one has 3 bolts. The 2 normal ones that you see going into the side, and there's one that goes through the top of the tank right here. Obviously the rad shroud bolts, or you can pull it off here. I find it easier just to pull the whole thing because I want it out of my way. Fuel line must of course come off. I already did that. And the vent line. Hey, anytime you see a bike stored for a long time in non-running condition, you always wonder what's living in the airbox. And here we got a good old mouse nest. It would have sucked to try to start that. Whenever I'm doing the bigger rebuilds, pulling a motor, checking over a bike, I just pull the whole back section off. Generally easier. Get things out of your way so you got more access. Alright, so your oil drain is a 14mm bolt down here at the bottom. Get that out and what we're looking at. Oh, good clean oil. Somebody's maintained it. Or they took it apart, realized something was wrong with it, and put it back together, hoping that nobody would notice. You never know what you get when you buy these. Okay, so we just drained the oil out. There's our amount. This is a 500ml bottle. That's almost half full. So we got 250 milliliters of oil. This bike takes 700 milliliters. So that bottle and a bit more. So we're running at about 1/3 of the oil that should have been in that. Alright, coolant drain, bottom of the water pump. This is a 10mm. Go. Again, good clean antifreeze in this one. A lot of times when you drain these, a lot of coolant won't come out right away. People think that it's actually empty. The thing is, you get a vapor lock up here in the coolant in the radiator, pull the cap off, and then it pours out. I already had the cap off on this one. Alright, and again, not a lot there. This was low, I saw it earlier. And once you got them drained, go ahead and put your drain bolts back in. It just keeps the damn things from dripping non-stop, because they'll drip all damn day if you leave them. Okay, so both fluids drain. This is 300 milliliters, and that's more like about 200 milliliters. So the coolant on this was also very low. Again, you have no idea how long this bike's been sitting, because they just got it, but it's possible the owner just put it away to store for the year, so it drained a little bit of fluids out. You never know. Alright, we're going to take out the front half of the exhaust. There's a single bolt on the left side of the bike, the anti-vibration mount, and then just your spring. It's a little tool I made to pull the springs off. This one's only got the one spring. There we go. Okay, should be 2 rubber O-rings. Hey, rat hoses, nothing to them. One there, one there. You can leave the engine one on since we're taking the motor off. Carb cable just spins off the top, and pull that out. Have a look at it, make sure your main metering rod's not bent. You can see this has not moved in a long time. There's some discoloration. It's been a while since that's been started. You can see that's just old dried up gas. Alright, it turns a little skunky, kind of like shellac, and gets sticky, so we'll want to clean that off when we put it together. The sprocket here is just held on with a compression clip. They come off real easy. And you just use one of these kind of pliers to get them, or you can do it with a couple of screwdrivers if you're patient. Alright, just a little clip like that. Hold the sprocket. Then you can just pull your sprocket straight off. Alright, looks like just the 3 bolts. You got one up front, one down below, and then the main swing arm bolt holds the back of the motor, which is pretty common for these bikes. Alright, so we got a nut on this side here. It's 19 mil. Alright, so that bolt tends to get pretty tight in there, and there's weight on it from the actual bike pushing down on the spring. So what you do is you spin a nut off most of the way, and then just give it a tap, and that'll loosen it up and make it easier to pull out later. Alright, if I was to pull that bolt out now, this bike is going to drop as soon as the swing arm disconnects. There is a little part that could stay in, but when you get hitting it, you never know. So, just lift it up, get the weight off. Alright, hammer and screwdriver to knock it through, drift, whatever. Okay, engine mount nuts on the right side of the bike, and those are 13. Okay, now your motor's basically out. All you need to do is pull out the swing arm bolt enough to clear the back. Got the clutch cable, of course. Okay, so motor's about ready to come out. We got the clutch cable off, and the last thing, of course, is the electronics. There you go. And with that, there's our motor. Okay, so there's the KX80 stripped down. Motor's over on the bench. We'll get on to that next. That's about as simple as it gets to pull out a motor on one of these things, and other manufacturers, whatever, they're all pretty much the same. You know, they use a nut instead of a clip, and a cable tie instead of something else. So, nothing to it. Total time took about 20 minutes, and that's with me stopping to explain things. Alright, nothing to it. We're going to get out to that motor now and have a look and see what we got going on in there.